My experience was similar to Altaf's. I'm Laeeqa Sujee. I was deported as well. I left on Friday afternoon together with Irfan Mangera and Karishma Magan. We left on Friday afternoon. We flew the same way as Altaf did, and we landed in Addis. That's when the problems began. We went through more searches than any other flight required. The flight to Tel Aviv and the United States required second searches to be done. Our bags were completely searched. Everything in our hand luggage was taken out, and everything was searched. We then flew to Tel Aviv, and upon reaching Tel Aviv, we gave in our passports, which is when you are supposedly given your on-site visas, because Israel only gives on-site visas. We went through, and all of us were sent to the waiting room for questioning. I was asked many questions before even being sent to the waiting room. We were sent to the waiting room, and 5 minutes later, Karishma and Irfan were called, and at this point, I didn't know what was happening, where they were going. I was later informed that they were immediately given their visas and they were allowed through. I, however, went for 4 interrogations with 3 different interrogators. They seemed to have a lot on me, in that everything I said, they kept on saying they did other checks and they found more things and I'm lying. They kept on saying that I'm lying, even though I reiterated so many times that I'm not lying. It was a long interrogation. Most of them were around 30 to 45 minutes. The first one was the shortest. The span of the interrogation lasted about 5.5 hours to 6 hours. And after that, I was then told that I'm going to be deported. I was forced to sign my deportation letter, and I was told that if I do not sign the letter, I will be arrested. I went back to the waiting room, and I was taken in a van where I couldn't see out, so I had no idea where I was being taken, and I was taken to what they call the immigration facility. Here, everything was taken from me, my hand luggage, my phone, everything. At this point, the guard asked me where I'm from, and I said I'm from South Africa, which was when he said he too was from South Africa and he works in Johannesburg. At this point, I thought, let me ask for my Quran, which is when they allowed me to take that with. That was the only thing I was allowed. I was first placed in a room with other women, but there weren't enough beds, so they called me separately, and I could see that they target South Africans because they said, "Where's the South African? Come." I was then taken to a room at the end of the hall where no one could hear me because it was the last room, and I was placed in solitary confinement for 8 hours. During this time, I had nothing with me besides my Quran. I was given food, but I obviously could not eat it because it wasn't halal. I was given a bun, which I then ate, but it was extremely stale. But I wasn't sure when I'm going to be released, so I ate that only. I then, at about 7:30 in the evening, I was called back to go back into the van, and I was taken to the airport. I was then told that I'll be flying out at 1:45 on Sunday morning. At about 11 o'clock that evening, I was taken for further security checks. These were quite intensive. My hand luggage was completely searched, and each time something was negative, meaning they found nothing on me. The male guard got extremely angry, and he told the female guard to keep on checking more. Eventually, I was taken to a little cubicle where I was searched thoroughly, a body search, where her hands were placed all over in very private areas. And towards the end, when she put the metal detector over my body, it beeped over the button on my jeans, which was when I had to wait about 5 to 10 minutes for a female supervisor to come, and then I had to remove my pants to my knees, and they did further searches then. I was finally then taken at about 12 o'clock to board my flight, but I wasn't given any of my documents or I had my personal possessions, but none of my documents. A guard walked me all the way to the plane, and I was only given the boarding pass for that flight. So when I reached Addis, I had no idea when I was flying, where the gate was. I basically knew nothing. So I had to run around and find out where the flight to Johannesburg is and what time it was. I eventually found that out, and I then flew back. I was only given the boarding pass for that flight. I still was not given my passport. When I reached South Africa and I arrived, only through arrivals was I then given my passport back. Actually, it was my third interrogation where he told me, "You're not telling me something. There's another reason why you are coming to Palestine." And I said, "There's nothing." When I went in for my fourth interrogation, he started screaming at me and he said, "You are part of BDS." And I said, "But I'm not. Yes, I have links to BDS, but I'm not part of BDS." And he was adamant that I'm part of BDS. And it's very important here to note that BDS is a non-violent organization meant to help the Palestinians. And he tells me, "I cannot allow you into my country when you are part of an organization that wants to kill or destroy my country." So you can see that they fear BDS significantly. Just to sum up, based on my experience, Altaf's experience, or Irfan and Karishma's experience, we've all come back with the same goal in mind. That we are South Africans. We've been through apartheid. We relate to them the most, which means that for the rest of our lives, until Palestine is free, we fight with every fiber of our being, not just during active wars like in 2014. Each of us fight every single day until liberation and freedom is achieved. Thank you.